Namaskar. My name is Dr. Nivedita Pandey. I'm a senior consultant in gastroenterology and hepatology at Sitaram Bhartiya Institute of Science and Research and at Max Super Specialty Hospital in Delhi. Today, I'm going to talk about is liver health in women. In general, women are much more likely than their male counterparts to have acute liver failure, autoimmune hepatitis, benign liver diseases, primary biliary cirrhosis, and toxin mediated hepatotoxicity. Women are much less likely to have malignant tumors or cancers and are also much less likely to have a form of chronic liver disease like primary sclerosing cholangitis. There is also a much reduced rate of decompensated cirrhosis in women who suffer from hepatitis C, although we find that there is really no difference in survival in alcoholic related disease. And thankfully for us women, there is a markedly improved survival from hepatocellular cancer. Women and men, we are very different genetically. Therefore, the way our body responds to alcohol is also much different. In general, we are much more commonly affected by alcohol and drug-induced liver injury, and we have a much higher incidence of getting acute liver failure from it. We are more susceptible to the toxic effects of alcohol, regardless of the dose. So we must remember that it's not whether you drink a lot or you drink a little. In general, we are much more likely to have alcoholic liver disease compared to our male counterparts. The ratio at which it affects men as well as women can be as the ratio of up to 2:1 over the age of 6 years. If we get alcoholic liver disease compared to our male counterparts, we have a much more rapid progression to fibrosis that unfortunately can persist despite being abstinent from alcohol. There are several factors that may contribute to the severity of alcoholic liver disease in women. There is a very big difference between estrogen receptor concentrations. As you know, estrogen is a very important hormone that is found to be at a higher ratio in women compared to men. And estrogen tends to activate the liver Kupffer cells. This leads to a markedly increased inflammation and necrosis, which can sometimes be treated with an anti-estrogen. Women also have a much higher risk of presenting with drug-induced hepatotoxicity and acute liver failure than men, though gender in itself is not a predictor of survival in acute liver failure. The female preponderance of having drug-induced liver injury may be because of differences in the drug bioavailability, depending on the sex and the gender, metabolism, excretion, as well as we have described it very well in animal models, that there is, women tend to have a higher amount of CYP3A4, which is a very important essential mediator of liver oxidative metabolism compared to men. Let's also talk about autoimmune liver diseases. Women have a much higher risk of having autoimmune liver disease compared to men. And this is not just about autoimmune liver disease. In general, all kinds of autoimmune diseases tend to happen much more commonly in women than they do in men. One of the common autoimmune diseases is primary biliary cirrhosis. And as women, we are 10 times more likely to get it. Similarly, with autoimmune hepatitis, we are 4 times more likely to get it. What is the exact mechanism of gender difference in autoimmune liver disease is really not known, but we do know that sex hormones and immunogenetics by themselves do play a very important interactive role. Sex steroids alter the immune system at many levels. They can actually regulate gene expression through steroid responsive elements. They can alter the antigen presentation through their effects on human leukocyte antigen genes, and they can also alter the cytokine environment. So in patients with autoimmune hepatitis, the progression rate to cirrhosis, treatment failure, and death from liver failure are equivalent in both men and women. Women are much less likely to get primary sclerosing cholangitis, although gender in itself is not an independent risk factor for mortality in primary sclerosing cholangitis. We do see cholangiocarcinomas occurring much more commonly in men than they do in women. As I had alluded to earlier in my talk, let's also talk about liver tumors. There are gender differences in the incidence of both benign and malignant liver tumors. Benign liver tumors are much more common in women. Malignant tumors tend to be more common in men. Benign liver lesions that predominantly occur in women include hemangiomas, focal nodular hyperplasia, hepatic adenoma, biliary cyst adenoma, and solitary hepatic cysts. Again, estrogen levels are thought to be associated with benign liver tumors, though the potential mechanisms are very unclear. The data is also very inconsistent in determining whether there are increased hormone receptors on benign tumors and whether the exogenous estrogens like the oral contraceptive pills stimulate benign tumor growth. The evidence regarding the OCP influence on benign liver tumors is most compelling in adenomas, where 80% of the women who are diagnosed with an adenoma report history of OCP use. Non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases, also known commonly as NAFLD, is much more frequently recognized in men and in postmenopausal women, especially those who have not received hormone replacement therapy. This suggests that sex hormones, particularly estrogens, do play a role in the pathogenesis of NAFLD. Patients with non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, or what we commonly call as NASH, are much likely to be female and are much likely to have diabetes and metabolic syndrome. With respect to viral hepatitis, women tend to clear acute hepatitis C virus infections at a much higher rate than do men, although there is very little information that is available on the progression of liver disease in women after menopause. In contrast to the hypothesis that estrogen potentiates fibrosis in alcoholic liver disease, they actually have a protective role against fibrosis in viral hepatitis because they inhibit the stellate cells that are responsible for fibrogenesis in the liver. Hepatitis B again affects both men and women similarly, but the male sex is a risk factor for reactivation of the HBV infection, especially after seroconversion from an E antigen positive to negative disease and for the development of cirrhosis and hepatocellular cancer. Natural history of liver disease for patients with cirrhosis and liver transplantation will vary actually depending on the etiology. Though women will have a much slower progression of fibrosis and a much decreased incidence of cirrhosis pre-transplant, after liver transplant, women do have a higher risk of advanced fibrosis and graft loss, especially in hepatitis C related liver disease. I hope this was helpful in your understanding of liver disease in women. Thank you.